Okay, so first time ever doing a scheduled live performance here. Um, yeah, I'm really stoked to be playing for everybody. Had like a little slowdown on my way here, but yeah, it's it's great to be here and um, yeah, in the midst of some pretty wild things that are happening right now. I'm totally aware of that, and yeah, I thought it would be kind of a nice time to kind of maybe you get a break while you're listening to this. I'm gonna get a break from some of the stuff. Definitely been watching the news, and yeah. So tonight I kind of three things lined up for everybody. Um, of kind of like a hike, a little nature walk that we're gonna do. Um, and then a little excerpt from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And then at the end, we're going to have special guest Josh Henderson. He's gonna beam in from Manhattan. I'm upstate, and we're about 60 miles apart. We're gonna play together using some low latency software, which I think is part of why it took me a little longer to get set up today than it usually does. It's very powerful. Pretty powerful stuff, but sometimes a little difficult to use. This is my first live thing doing that. So yeah, I'm really stoked to play for you here. So why don't we take a little trip here? We're going to this place called Lake Minnewaska. It's in upstate New York. It's kind of like a mountain lake. If you saw the video that I posted earlier, you can kind of see that. And yeah, it's on this giant like wildlife preserve, and it's like a winter lake. It's super cold. You can kind of see that the icicles are pretty crazy here. So yeah, I'm just gonna play a little bit and kind of enjoy the scenery. So this is just want to jump in here. This is a gazebo that I kind of found around the lake, and it has a lot of different like writings on it, and people from the past, people from the present, and I thought it was just kind of a cool thing. It's a cool thing to see all those things together. So yeah, see if you can pick out some of the names. I don't know, maybe you know somebody, maybe not. But yeah, it was nice to kind of like go and read all of those different things and sit and sort of enjoy the view, like clearly so many other people did. So yeah, that's Lake Minnewaska. All these crazy effects here. Yeah, so that's Lake Minnewaska. Uh, it's really pretty place. So I thought I'd share that with you. If you want to see a little bit more of that, uh, I do have a video that I've posted that kind of goes through all of the little things that are happening there and kind of my oh hey Patty, um, oh yeah, I see you, Chen, Lucy, Brian, Josh. Yeah, good to see all of you. Um, yeah, that video that I posted kind of goes through all of the, you know, the different things about hiking, and kind of what I was thinking about, less so about hiking. So yeah, this next bit is a clip from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it's gonna be like a short bit. I thought about this section, and I wanted to pick something where he was really talking about like his philosophy, which in the book he talks about like a little more than a little bit. He has what maybe you could say that he has strong views about things, and yeah, I thought this particular section was really cool. And here's an excerpt from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Sir, even though you've cut yourself off from humanity, I can see that you haven't disowned all human feeling. We're castaways whom you've charitably taken aboard. We'll never forget that. Speaking for myself, I don't rule out the interests of science that could override the need for freedom, which promises me that. In exchange, our encounter will provide great rewards. I thought the commander would offer me his hand to seal our agreement. He did nothing of the sort, and I regretted that. One last question, I said, just as the inexplicable being seemed ready to withdraw. Ask it, Professor. By what name am I to call you? Sir, the commander replied, to you I am simply Captain Nemo. To me, you and your companions are simply passengers on the Nautilus. Captain Nemo called out. A steward appeared. The captain gave him his orders in that strange language I couldn't even identify. Then turning to the Canadian and the consul, a meal is waiting for you in your cabin, he told them. Kindly follow this man. That's an offer I can't refuse, the harpooner replied. After being confined for over 30 hours, he and consul were finally out of this cell. And now, Professor Aronnax, our own breakfast is ready. Allow me to lead the way. Yours to command, Captain. I followed Captain Nemo, and as soon as I passed through the doorway, I went down some kind of electrically lit passageway that resembled a gangway on a ship. After a stretch of some 10 meters, a second door opened for me. I then entered a dining room decorated and furnished in austere good taste. Inlaid with ebony trim, tall oaken sideboards stood at both ends of this room, and sparkling on their shelves were staggered rows of earthenware, porcelain, and glass of incalculable value. There, silver-plated dinnerware gleamed under trays pouring from light fixtures in the ceiling, whose glare was softened and tempered by delicately painted designs. In the center of this room, a table, richly spread. Captain Nemo indicated the place was to occupy. Be seated, he told me, and eat like that famished man you must be. Our breakfast consisted of several dishes whose contents were all supplied by the sea, and some foods whose nature and derivation were unknown to me. They were good, I admit, but with particular flavor to which I would soon grow accustomed. These various food items seemed to be rich in phosphorus, and I thought they too must have been of marine origin. Captain Nemo stared at me. I had asked him nothing, but he read my thoughts, and on his own he answered the questions I was itching to address to him. Most of these dishes are new to you, he told me, but you can consume them without fear. They're healthy and nourishing. I renounced terrestrial foods long ago, and I am none the worse for it. My crew are strong and full of energy, and they eat what I eat. So, I said, all these foods are products of the sea? Yes, Professor. The sea supplies all my needs. Sometimes I cast my nets in our wake and I pull them up, ready to burst. Sometimes I go hunting right in the midst of this element that has long seemed so far out of man's reach, and I corner the game that dwells in my underwater forests. Like the flocks of old Proteus, King Neptune's shepherd, my herds graze without fear on the ocean's immense prairies. There I own vast properties that I harvest myself, and which are forever sown by the hand of the Creator of all things. I stared at Captain Nemo in indefinite astonishment, and I answered him. Sir, I understand perfectly how your nets can furnish, excellent fish for your table. I understand less how you can chase aquatic game in your underwater forests. But how a piece of red meat, no matter how small, can figure in your menu, that I don't understand at all. Nor I, sir, Captain Nemo answered me. I never touch the flesh of land animals. Nevertheless, this, I went on, pointing to a dish where some slices of loin were still left. What you believe to be red meat, Professor, is nothing other than loin of a sea turtle. Similarly, here are some dolphin livers you might mistake for stewed pork. My chef is a skillful food processor who excels at picking and preserving these various exhibits from the ocean. Feel free to sample all these foods. Here are some preserves of sea cucumber that a Malaysian would declare to be unrivaled in the entire world. Here's cream of milk furnished by the udders of cetaceans, and sugar from the huge fucus plants in the northern sea. And finally, allow me to offer you some marmalade of sea anemone, equal to that from the tastiest fruits. So I sampled away more as a curiosity seeker than an epicure. Well, Captain Nemo delighted me with his incredible anecdotes. But the sea, Professor Aronnax, he told me, this prodigious, inexhaustible wet nurse of the sea not only feeds me, she dresses me as well. The fabric covering you is woven from the masses of filaments that anchor certain seashells, as the ancients were wont to do. It was dyed with purple ink from the murex snail and shaded with violet tints that I extract from a marine slug, the Mediterranean sea hare. The perfumes you'll find on the washstand in your cabin were produced from the oozings of marine plants. Your mattress was made from the ocean's softest eelgrass. Your quill pen will be whalebone. The ink, a juice secreted by cuttlefish or squid. Everything comes to me from the sea, just as someday everything will return to it. You love the sea, Captain. Yes, I love it. The sea is the be-all and end-all. It covers 7/10 of the planet. Its breath and clean. Its breath is clean and healthy. And here's an excerpt from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And sugar from the huge fucus plants in the northern sea. And finally, allow me to offer you some marmalade of sea anemone, equal to that from the tastiest fruits. So I sampled away more as a curiosity seeker than an epicure. Well, Captain Nemo delighted me with his incredible anecdotes. But the sea, Professor Aronnax, he told me, this prodigious, inexhaustible wet nurse of a sea not only feeds me, She dresses me as well. The fabric covering you is woven from the masses of filaments that anchor certain seashells, as the ancients were wont to do. It was dyed with purple ink from the murex snail and shaded with violet tints that I extract from a marine slug, the Mediterranean sea hare. The perfumes you'll find on the washstand in your cabin were produced from the oozings of marine plants. Your mattress was made from the ocean's softest eelgrass. Your quill pen will be whalebone. The ink, a juice secreted by cuttlefish or squid. Everything comes to me from the sea, just as someday everything will return to it. You love the sea, Captain. Yes, I love it. The sea is the be-all and end-all. It covers 7/10 of the planet. Its breath and clean. Its breath is clean and healthy. It's an immense wilderness where man is never lonely because he feels life astir on every side. The sea is simply the vehicle for a prodigious, unearthly mode of existence. It's simply movement and love. It's living infinity, as one of your poets put it. And in essence, Professor, nature is here made manifest by all three of her kingdoms: mineral, vegetable, and animal. The last of these is amply represented by the 4 zoophyte groups, 3 classes of articulates, 5 classes of mollusks, and 3 vertebrate classes, mammals, reptiles, and those countless legions of fish, an infinite order of animals totaling more than 13,000 species, of which only 1/10 belong to fresh water. The sea is a vast pool of nature. Our globe began with the sea, so to speak, and who can say we won't end with it? Here lies supreme tranquility. The sea doesn't belong to tyrants. On its surface, they can still exercise their iniquitous claims, battle each other, devour each other, haul every earthly horror. But 30 feet below the sea level, their dominion ceases. Their influence fades. Their power vanishes. Ah, sir, live. Live in the heart of the seas. Here alone lies independence. Here I recognize no superiors. Here I'm free. Captain Nemo suddenly fell silent in the midst of this enthusiastic outpouring. Had he let himself get carried away past the bounds of his habitual reserve? Had he said too much? For a few moments he strolled up and down, all a-quiver. Then his nerves grew calmer, his facial features recovered their usual icy composure, and he turned to me. "Now, Professor," he said, "if you'd like to inspect the Nautilus, I'm yours to command." All right. So, if you're watching on, I guess if you're watching on YouTube, you want to hear me say this. Yeah, apparently, I got taken down for copyrighted audio, even though I'm playing it right now. I didn't know that I was going to play this just now, but somehow they did. So maybe that will come back up. Wow, what a thing. Okay, there it goes. It's back. Yeah. Yeah, apparently things have changed in the last few months. Yeah, so that's like a clip from there we go. Little clip from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So we're about halfway or 2/3 of the way through the program, and let me see if I can get Mr. Josh Henderson up here. So he's going to be coming in through Skype. So I'm giving him a buzz. And as I'm doing that, maybe I will tell you about what we're doing here. So if you're new to the whole, sending him a quick text here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you're new to the whole low latency thing, latency is the amount of time that it takes for the sound to travel between places, and the delay between when you play the sound to when it actually gets there. So that's like kind of the simplest thing. So when we say latency in terms of the internet and playing music, we're talking about the amount of time that it takes to get the amount of time that it takes to get from say you to the person you're playing with to the audience, and back and forth between all of those people that you might want to play with. If you want to play with more than, probably want to eventually make music with more than one other person, if it's unless you're playing by yourself here. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to be working to overcome here. And there's some software that we're using called Jamkazam, that's built on top of a software that was developed by Stanford called Jacktrip, which is something that has been around for a while, but is now being adopted since we need to be using it these days. Yeah, Josh, you want to mute your mic? Yeah. So Josh is here. Josh, can you mute your mic, man? All right, there we go. Yeah, so we're getting set up here, and Josh's sound from his computer's was going in this way, but now it's good. There's a little bit of latency for the stream, so he just heard it through. Yeah, there we go. If Josh would mute YouTube and or Facebook, so that's. All right, almost there. So we're loading. There we go. Great, and should be almost connected. So I'm gonna jump over and say hello once the sound gets connected. We're now in Carnegie Hall here, which we've actually both played here before. Let's see here, and see, we're connecting slowly but surely. So we're going to be playing kind of like a little medley of things. We're going to play like a sort of remixed version of the Handel Halvorsen Passacaglia duo for violin and viola. And let's see how we're doing with the audio here. I think I'm hearing Josh maybe. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Is it possible for you to turn up your sound just a hair? All right. Go ahead and then. All right. Let me give you a little reverb. All right. Great. All right. Awesome. And let's check a level real quick. I'm gonna bring you up, and I think we're good. Can we play one more time there? All right, great. All right, so yeah, welcome, Josh.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, this is Josh Henderson. If you want to find, he's on Instagram, Warp Trio. Really fantastic group with two other people too, and a fourth sometimes. Really fantastic group. I've known them for years, and yeah. So thanks for being here. Um, yeah. So should we give this a shot here?
Let's try it out.
All right.
See what happens.
Yep. All right. That was a mysterious voice. Here we go. Actually, let me turn down just a bit. I can already see that's a lot. All right, let's go for it.
All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, ready.
Cool. Cool. So thanks Josh for coming on here. This is really fun. Um,
Anytime.
Let me see.
It's fun.
You what?
I said anytime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's it for this evening. That was pretty
Grand
cool.
finale?
So this is yeah one down here, and yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Um, check out Josh and Warp Trio. It's at Warp Trio on Instagram, warptrio.com. I'm Trevor-New. Probably know me, probably friends on Facebook or something like that. Yeah, and yeah, hopefully see you next time. See you next Friday. Trying to do this each Friday at 5. All right. Night, everybody.